I'm going to show you how to connect to Smartlead so that you can get all of your replies, your bounces, your unsubscribes, all of your contact lists out of the system into a central database that you completely own. And there is very little setup. It takes less than 15 minutes to do this. And you're going to be able to see better dashboards, better A/B testing, better analytics, and you have all that data stored in one place. But why would you want to get data out of Smartlead in the first place? Here's why. One, you want to automate your do not contact list. So current clients, active deals, unsubscribes, bounces. Number two is you want to save on contact limits. Obviously, you're probably paying a lot if you have a lot of contacts. You can remove the contacts from Smartlead, store them in a central location, and when you're ready to reuse them in a future campaign, you can always re-upload them. Third is you can track replies so you can reference this data in future list building efforts. And so you're not oversending to the same contacts too often. Four is you can get better client dashboards that give you all of the access to all of your clients all in one place. And then you can white label those dashboards, share it with your clients. They won't access any of the other clients if you're an agency, and they'll only see their data in their contact list, filterable down to their exact positive replies, all the meetings, and everything else that has come from all of your efforts. And five, you get better agency-wide client dashboard reports so you can see all client reports all in one place, regardless if they're in separate sequencers, because at ReviOps, we allow you to have a single API per client. So all the data is segregated by clients, but you also have a master view of all of it in one place. And finally, you can gain ownership of the data. So if you ever change sequencers, you will never lose access because you own access to all the data and the reports. If you go to say Bison or you go to PlusVibe or you go to Instantly from Smartlead or vice versa, you will always have access to all the data because you now own it outside of the sequencer. Let's get into the actual tactical setup of the integrations and the dashboards you get. So we're at reviops.com. We're going to go ahead and log into the current client login area, and it's going to bring you to your client list. Now, this is an important idea that these are all individual databases. So if you're an agency, you have every single database separated by client. You'll also see which integrations we have set up for every single client. And I can go ahead and just edit these. I can delete these, or I can go add a client very simply. We'll call this test client 1. Okay, we went ahead and we added a database. Now that seems easy, but it's actually quite difficult to do. This is fully managed databases, a Postgres database, as well as a BigQuery database on the Google Cloud platform, stood up instantly for you with a completely flexible schema that we can now start to integrate and flow data into one central place, along with all the dashboards, the analytics, and the reports that we have. So we're going to get into some of those integrations right now. First, what you have to do is choose the client database that you want to integrate to. I'm going to go ahead and just choose as an example, Solid Line Media Test Demo. I'm going to go ahead and switch into this client area here, and it's going to bring up the actual database. I'm under the contact list database here. You can see we have a company list database, as well as we have our reports and our integrations here on the left. As a starting point, you'll see that we have already configured Instantly, Clay, Smartlead, and Email Bison. So we can actually integrate multiple sequencers or even non-sequencers like HeyReach or Trigify or other third-party data sources all into one list. Now, once we have that, the data will start flowing in as you would expect here. Now, what's great is you can go ahead and edit any columns you want. All of these columns are completely customizable to the client. So if you have particular Clay tables, or if you have certain data you want to pull from Smartlead, you can integrate it all into one place. What's important to note is the data can be automated through integrations or can be imported via CSV. That's just the start. But let's say that we want to actually have all of that data from Smartlead in here automatically, like the lead created time, or say that you want to see the first campaign email sent date and time, as well as the last campaign email sent, and even the last reply email received contact status, such as what they were marked as in the sequencer, or if they were unsubscribed. We can do that by coming into the integrations tab here. You'll see there's different enabled integrations already on this account. You would see those under other integration. We can see we also have various integrations for the CRM. But in this case, with Smartlead, all we did was come in here, we put in the Smartlead API, we save the key, and it's basically ready to go. Now we're going to also get into how we do this for webhooks. This is the API data. It's very important for sequencers to understand that there's two types of data. There's API data and there's webhook data. They have different types of data within them. Webhook data is fantastic for HTML email bodies, bounce information, reply dates and times, and other information specific to the sending volume and the reply volume for a particular contact. We're going to grab both of those data sources and we're going to track them into both the campaign level, at the dashboard level, as well as in with the individual contacts within the contact list. So let's go over to the actual dashboard so you can see how this data looks from a visual perspective and not just a table perspective, as you've seen in the contact list. Over in the reporting, you're going to see this is directly connected to the sequencer. In this case, it's instantly. This would be the same exact if it was Bison or Smartlead. You could have multiple sequencers flowing data into the same report. Now, what you're looking at here is you have a full list of campaigns coming directly from the sequencer. In addition, you're going to get the full funnel from instantly or from Bison or from Smartlead all in one view. In this example, we have total email sent by campaign, we have the total results and the individual results. So I can go ahead and scroll from left to right to see exactly what's happened across time. And this goes on and on and on for the history of the client. In addition, we can see the funnel activity beyond the initial send, such as reply percentage, total interested reply percentage, and those will break out into the subgroups as they've been labeled in the sequencer. What's also great is that you can set out the actual definitions of what is good or bad based upon reply percentage or interest reply percentage, so you get automatic color coding of your reports for your clients. Another cool part is that you can see the ratio. So you can choose any of these metrics, such as interest replies, and see what the ratio of those are to, say, total unique prospects email. In this example, I can click on that and it's going to give me the ratio between those numbers. I can also choose a different ratio, let's say from total email sent, and it will give me the ratio of that. In addition, you can do things like comparing campaigns to each other. Let's say that you want to see the lift between the two campaigns. What you can do here is click compare and say I want to compare it to this other one over here. It's going to pull up a different view, so you can see there's all these different lifts between one campaign and the other, and you can drill into this information as needed. To get back to the original screen, I just click one of the buttons and it lets me unselect the compare. Now, to go even deeper here, the reason this is so beautiful and different than a sequencer dashboard is that you can do multivariate analysis in variable tracking. Under here, where you see edit filters, you can see you can add any filters that you've tracked to the contact level as well as to the campaign level. Now, that's a big idea. What that means is that you can go set variables like subject line or hook or problem statement or call to action or source or anything for that matter. And then you can go drill into your reports by those variables. So if you want to see subject line across all the campaigns that have that subject line, you can simply choose that right here underneath your edit filters variables. You can also sort by date range and you can simply clear. Another important idea here is that it's not just about the campaign reports. We also have deliverability reports as well. The deliverability reports gives you all the reports by the domains as well as the sub inboxes related to those domains. So you can see reply rates, total replies, total sends by inbox and by domain. This way you don't have to rely on deliverability reports. You can also see the exact real life results by campaign and by domain and inbox, which is a big benefit. So your team can go to the sequencer and remove anything that isn't working. This is just the start. We can also allow you to come under the reports section here, as you can see, where there's contacts reports and there's campaign reports on the bottom left for your entire agency and all the clients. Again, if you only have one database because you are a single client and you're not an agency, then this wouldn't apply to you. But let's go into the contacts report. So we can see total contacts by these different clients, and we can see how many have been attempted, how many have not been attempted, and how many have been interested as a ratio. But let's say that I want to see something even more interesting under the campaign reports. I can click on that and you'll see there's two types of data. There's webhook and there's API data. It's the same type of data we saw in the other report for individual clients, but now we can see it across all of your clients, all in one view. So total emails sent, unique total prospects emailed, unique old prospects emailed. So you can see who's new and who's old. You can see unique total prospects, percentage of replies, all in one view. If you want to drill into individual campaigns, you can do that. All you do here is you click on it and it's going to give you all of your sub campaigns. It's going to tell you where they came from and it's going to give you all your results by that campaign all in one place. But it gets a little bit better. Not only do you get the contact list and the reports and all of this integration automated automatically, you can also share the individual databases with each client individually. What I mean by that is you come under here under the settings and you can see there's these different team members. What I can do is I can click invite team member and I can say test client at gmail.com and I can go ahead and not give them admin access, but give them client access. So now I can go ahead and assign them to a very particular database, call it RevG, click send invite. And now that client does not have access to any of the agency level views. It doesn't have access to the actual reports for other clients, and it cannot see any other clients at all. It only gets access to their own contact list, their own company list, and their own reporting. That's a very big deal because now we've fully automated your reports for your clients. So you don't have to worry about data integrity, about anybody knowing what other clients are doing, and to make sure that your data is protected overall. So now that you understand the value of having all of this data in one place to automate your reports, to automate your lists, to do so much more in terms of list building. We didn't get into how this will completely eliminate re-enriching the same contacts. There's a whole nother video on that if you want to see it, but there's so much more coming out. We're just getting started here at Revio. ReviOps. Before we finish here, I want to show you how you actually integrate. We already covered going into the API integration. There's a very quick video on the webhook integration through NAN, and this also explains in part how we do NAN integrations as well if that's of interest to you, especially for signal data or data outside of the sequencers. Let's go ahead and jump in there now. Alan, my head of GTM, will walk you through the NAN integration.
We would always advise using NA10. Don't use Zapier, don't use Make. The reason why, if you do use Zapier or Make, you're probably going to get charged an absurd amount just because of the amount of data that you're going to put through the workflow. So NA10 is your best bet for setting this up. We can set this up for you. We can even give you a template. We can give you this exact template. So if I download this and I can send it to you guys. Let me give you an overview. The way this works is you're going to configure within Smartlead. You're going to throw in this webhook URL. So this one right here. Once you throw in that webhook URL, all the data is going to start flowing through from Smartlead into this workflow. What happens based on the event type that comes through, we're going to route the data accordingly. The types of events that which the workflow can expect are email sent, email reply, lead category, email bounce, and lead unsubscribe. Based on that, if the event type is email sent, what we do is we store that data against the contact in ReviOps. The same goes for email reply. We store that reply and we also store it against the contact in ReviOps. What happens for lead category? If you were to tag a contact in Smartlead, what happens is you need to define which types of categories that you want to track. Based on the categories you want to track, what we will then do is essentially set a contact status to that specific category within ReviOps. As an example, if that's complicated, let me uncomplicate it. So if you tag contact as unsubscribed, what this will do is it will pass all that data through. It's going to obviously route down here, and then it's going to route to these three modules just here, this one and this one. In short, what this is doing is it's finding the contact within ReviOps. Once it finds that contact, it's going to set a contact status to say unsubscribe. The same goes for out of office. You can add as many as you want here. Out of office obviously is another one. You could do automatic replies, another good example. The other types of event types are email bounce. This comes through. Again, we set the contact status to say bounced so that you guys know moving forward the email probably is not the best one to send to. The same goes for lead unsubscribe. So we set the contact status to unsubscribe so that moving forward, you can see this contact has unsubscribed from any future communication. So that's pretty much an overview as to how the workflow works. Again, we can set this up for you. We can even send you the template for you to set up. It takes about 5-10 minutes maximum to set this up and get this up and running. But yeah, that's an overview.
So there you have it. You now know how to integrate your sequencer, Smartlead, Bison, PlusVibe, or instantly directly into ReviOps so you can have all of your data in one place so you are the owner of the data with better dashboards, better reports, and better information, all fully automated that can be set up in under 30 minutes. Go ahead and schedule a call with us. You can go to reviops.com, get on the wait list, and actually get on a live demo with me so we can get you guys started. Definitely check out the reviews on the website. There's great case studies from other agency owners and non-agency owners who have already adopted ReviOps and are getting great value from a central database platform. We'll see you guys on the demo.